Munyina Jo United Television UTV so any ebraso omemu amanensamo asamufo aboabo no asone so no ye de bedamo se kasebo na mekam se nyumaku bi adaroma ne de nsama hodo no eba this way chocolate drink dunya no so share special ice mineral water special drinks na unsa enkebi kamapa best points savings loans limited banker Ghana for wiase nyina aje atomunyumaku adaroma ne de nsem no eba didima kutebi ene se onyame yadma next week Thursday mampani his excellency John Dramani Mahama at the state of the nation's address tudwa na won hye nyina no ene majority leader de atudwa parliament
ewo mrashebedwa fie ho adom kuma no akasa achem se 10% salary increment aban ede aba no obetimi aye bibie afa ho esanse isha Abayumafu joining Glossack Jumaku no meno kasei enne strike no course den UTV ye ko baby omi enuma na okora weke dodo na na omni wonmo a womo fi na no ne de beto manim se eye esuo tote ade se mnioma bi ahwiagum enei mpanifo de krata aba afa ho yerembe ko kantamanto mo kai se ija no ehye mampani ezika bi ekomaom abansika na sabri amno kase de biadifo no yesisika no wo mu bo ho atwede a enya asem kuma ebekwa kopiem oswaman eho na ahemfo mpanifo eho de ato aban mpanifo anim se omohwe na asunwe emra impatemu ho azafo we kan sama ho a ahodo ho a don hwede baako yede besum se kasebo o UTV so akenkanfo ye me David Ofori Safo menemia Kwame Owusu Ediomi avebo ra ensem no emo Onyame yadoma next week Thursday Ghana mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at the State of the Nation's address bakotudwa ewo mrashebedwamu nene ebra mrashebedwa for kwa asetano majority leader onumunyamfo Mahama ayarega edi tudwa nhihya wodo a ebekoso ebra mampani edi SONA no ebetudwa
Article 67 and it says that the president shall, at the beginning of each session of Parliament and before a dissolution of Parliament, deliver to Parliament a message on the state of the nation. This is a constitutional injunction. The President would definitely be here to deliver the State of the Nation address. And members are expected to be seated latest 9:15 a.m. Please pay attention. Members are expected to be seated in the chamber latest 9:15 a.m. The clerk has also issued additional instructions which I want to bring to your attention. All honorable members are to be seated in the chamber 9:15 a.m. This is because once His Excellency the President enters the chamber, national security will not allow any member access into the chamber. So note that once the national security takes over, no member will be allowed access into the chamber. So after 9:15, it will be difficult to have access to the chamber. And I know na ban ne mpanyifo etena se adwumayefo aketua omohwe na omakasa afa ho apegyinase ho na enei aban ne adwumayefo etena se a omokasa ye no eye ohanchemu edu ene ebeka ho aka ho bi ma enei ukopiem ewo mrashebedwafi a eye donkuma no ba ne dani eye honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin akasa achem se eye ohanchemu edu 10% a aban ne adwumayefo egitu mu se yemfa nka omakatua ho no sika iso aketi anu wa bi nko se aban etimi ye bibi efa ho.
Mr. Speaker, the second issue. In 2017, public sector workers enjoyed 12.5% increment, 2018 11%, 2020 15%, 2021 there was a 4% plus interim premium of 15%. 2022 there was 15% COLA on base salary, 2023 30%, 2024 23% between January and June, and then the July to December was 25%. We have just had a paltry increment of 10%. The leader of government business must take note of this and inform His Excellency the President that these are the numbers he came to meet. The ordinary Ghanaian worker has a higher expectation in this 133 24-hour research economy. They have a legitimate expectation that President Mahama will do, if cannot match it, he should do better. Mr. Speaker, the 10% is unacceptable.
Wabra Edom Kuma Womrashib Jamu say Akatuantumu 10% in Isano. Majority leader on for Mahama Ayarga HSO said workers are memu ejmafo o mahom ke kam kushia mampeni din komo na mampeni to anim se wo track 10% no mani agina chese workers anase ejmafo wo mu ogidie e wa ban mu pa yintin sema majority leader edituja.
The tripartite committee met to negotiate with government regarding salary increases. Mr. Speaker, at the end of the negotiations, the workers of this country, led by their leaders, the union leaders, happily and gladly accepted 10% increase. Mr. Speaker, accepting 10% increment as against 25% or 12% or 13% is a vote of confidence in the leader. Because they are confident that President John Dramani Mahama, when he collects the public money, taxes, he will not be flying aircraft and bathing in the air. That he will not be engaging in profligate spending. He will not be engaging in wasteful spending. And because they are confident that President John Dramani Mahama is going to make good use of the public money.
And they among Ghana Mua say Obesha Miaya Hodo, Obe Dumso Koso, Akahubi, Ghana for Akasa Hopa, ye say a buying on share na on 2 more. And they say in Sama Ghana for Ekano, Aka Swafwa, a buying a yin say on share Enam, Kanya in Semso, na Omboa, Nasa Nyoma, Dumso na Kosono, a tour ebetimi echa. Interne Yura, John Abdullah Jenapo, or the Aprobo Akopim West Africa Gas Pipeline, Akohe Jumedia Koso said the bear on betimi abua na yen kanyano etimi ejina so amayen.
Effectively, because of this exercise, we are unable to power about 800 megawatts of thermal capacity, putting a huge strain on the supply of electricity to the grid. So what we've done is to procure some liquid fuels, i.e. light crude oil, distillate fuel, and HFO. The effect of this exercise is that we are producing just enough to meet demand. And so we have no spare capacity, we have no reserve margin, putting a huge strain on the supply of power. Let me thank the officials of WAPCO for the work they are doing. So far it's a very difficult work, but the indication I'm getting is that they are on schedule. However, the next 1 week is very critical because the next 1 week will determine the extent of the success of the work they are pursuing. All things being equal, at the beginning of next month, we should see the flow of gas, which means that power supply will be much more enhanced. We have a challenge though. We've received a letter from NGAS threatening not to supply the gas even after this exercise because there's an outstanding liability of about $75 million. And so government has to scramble around and find a way of meeting this huge challenge. Mr. President has directed that I go to Nigeria to meet our Nigerian counterparts to deliberate and negotiate with them so we can make some part payments, have a briefing space whilst we take time to settle the outstanding liabilities. But clearly, it tells you that we inherited a very, very difficult situation, a very challenging situation. Be that as it may, we have to find solutions to these challenges. And our main effort and concentration is on how we can find these solutions, the immediate term, the medium term, but more importantly, the long term. If by the time the pigging is complete and gas is not flowing, we are going to run into major crisis. In fact, it costs us a lot of money to buy liquid fuel. It's not an option. No matter what, we have to find a way of consuming the gas. And no matter the challenge, I'm sure that given the caliber of people we have, we'll be able to find a solution and forge ahead with them. Normally, you wouldn't run these plants on diesel, but you would have procured light crude oil. But because of the time period and the time you require to treat the light crude oil, we've had to run on diesel. It's normally not the case. The light crude oil is arrived, but you need a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks to treat that light crude oil. But diesel, you can consume it immediately. HFO, heavy fuel oil, you can consume it. And so that is what we are consuming. And if we had planned well, we shouldn't be in this situation. Let me appeal to Ghanaians that if they see some minimum disruption in the power supply, it's not deliberate. It's just that given the situation and given the short time period that we've had to scramble to procure fuel, every thermal plant that can run on fuel, we've brought that thermal plant on board. The 800 megawatts that is stranded and cannot supply power, it is because they are not dual fuel plants and they cannot consume diesel. If they could consume liquid fuel, would have procured that.
Yetwa kasiyebono SONA yedemo eko abayuma efua joining Glossack ekuno na yeka Glossack no the Civil and Local Government Staff Association Ghana womo ekire se na nsen entamo mampani ayi onumunyamfo ora Samuel Adom Botwe se ono enenye registrar emfama birth and death registry na Glossack mpanifo kire se sao penino enam sama nyosem ne ade wadi emuntintiman ntino sadi bere odia enyi enti aban emfa nipa hofro nya sao mbeti atua na enura anamati ato no ehyaase strike no ehyaase enura UTV kasete ho gumontenso yekomunwuma mu dodo na ena ankwadwuma enne eyeda etosuminu enenso yekoye na muka se na insen tampani okasra edema aban minister for government communication onunyamfo Felix Ofozuko ache ede todwa nsenchofo nhyiamu ase so owura Samuel Adom Botwe no mampani gina Ghana mmaraso na de boni din mampani anyamfum so bia enti Glossack omoni case bia womunsa enko adwuma na ne bra UTV kase ye call Glossack for omunwuma mu no ye hunse nwumanfo do na ena amadwuma emu ba ko mienu miensa bi de womo ebai ebi ye reception for womo ebai sanso na PR womo kasa edema eku do no ebi enso ebai na womo na bra UTV kase no mu edi nkomo no womo jele de ekoso no womo kura no omani anhyeda anyi ho tom gidi se enmani ya no aban ene Glossack mpanifo ebe trase na omako benkrom na yi atumi ato yiye sede be ya wo metimi akom nnwuma so aye adwuma ama oman so enyom ho emfaso ndimino ka se Glossack ekuo no etiato amo eti strike omo ekono enura na hyase enenso eto amu a utumi se eto enyantwae
yetwa kasebo so ane kopiem fra mantemu na no ada ene edebeto mu anim se esuo toze ya eno na ewo fra mantemu no ade se track bia eso agrochemicals adane akoto nsuo mu amene agrochemicals no afra nsuo ama nioma ɛwɔ sɛ amanfo a ɛteben ɔmo de ɛyɛ no bi te sɛ ɔmo esi nioma ɔmo yɛ fishing wom ɔmo de bi kura egu ɔmfodie so no ɛyɛ adeɛ sɛ esan ɛyɛ agrochemicals a akogu mu yinti no ɛnyɛ adeɛ sɛ ɔmo betumi ɛdi dwuma animu ya enti mpanyinfo ahyɛ sɛ amanfo ɛteteben esuo tɔgye ya ɔmo de saa esuo edi ɔmo dwuma yi bia sɛ ɔde esi nioma ɔsɛ bia nom ɔde gu mfodie so anaasɛ impo ɔde di dwuma bia no ɛnyɛ adeɛ sɛ ne ebetumi aboa esan sɛ sɛ ɔde bi edu dwuma nsanso ɛbɛba no ɛnyɛ adeɛ sɛ ɛbɛboa nti mpanyinfo atoto ahyɛ amanfo san pɔtɛm nyinaa sɛ enumonimu yɛ adeɛ ɔmo ntwe ɔmo dwumadi a ɔmo de esuo tɔgye no edi no ɛnsensen kakra na mpanyinfo ɛbɔ mmɔden ahwɛ adi ho dwuma sɛ de ɛbɛyɛ a agrochemicals a afra nsuo yi no ɔmo betumi adi ho dwuma ma nsuo yi ɛni ɛtumi ate sɛ de ɛbɛyɛ a amanfo a ɛbɛn esuo yi ɔmo betumi adi ɔmo dwuma ɔmo ahyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ coordinating councils ahodoɔ no nyinaa ɛnhwɛ ɛmpɛ kwan foforɔ a ɔmo betumi ɛde nsuo ama amanfo a ɛwɔ tɔgye ɛne ne mpɔtamu na ɔmo nso ɛtumi ɛdi ɔmo dwuma.
Na yɛdɛm kopiem wɔ enwanum ɛwɔ kantamanto mu kae sɛ nanse ntɛm ina edwahyehyɛ ɛtɔ kantamanto ɛma enwanum ɛtɔn nneɛma wɔ no wadwapadeɛ ɛhyɛ dwere bɛɛ ɛno nam so magana mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛfa Chief of Staff onumunyamfo Julius Debra so ɛde sika no ɛsombo 1 million Ghana cedis ɛkɔmɔ adwadifo yi na ahwɛ adwadifo a ɛbɛyɛ sɛ 7,900 na ɛsɔ mo sika no kyɛ sɛ ɛkyɛ nipa baako biara no binya 125 Ghana cedis na nɛ ɛwɔ kantamanto no na ɛsɔ mo sika no na mentem ho as kakra asɔre ebi sɛ sika no wɔn kya esuadodo ebi kura nso sɛ de esua no yɛmfa nto baabi ebi bɛka ho anoma kyɛ ebi nso sɛ daabi ɛbɛyɛ a ɛna wɔn fa ntɔ track kɛseɛ ensi kantamanto efi bi a wɔn bɛyɛ bia no ne asesa ɛde akɔ nti ibra sika kyɛ no ɛkɔ so no mentem ho ase ɛbae UTV kaseɛ ekopie mu hɔ no mo
Kano, sa 10 billion, old currency 10 billion. Yes, Mubache, young Fantoka, Emma Jano, Bolaka. Because that can say when you need Bolaka, it's a Yadia, Tiasia. I'm just going to do Yantiasia. Yanomuka. You know, Bolaka, you hear Bolaka, that be a casa some way, even though they are well, say Bolaka any dream. In so to a ball of good brain. I don't want to the other day. It's a here Bolaka or dream about why.
Or how I walk problem, I walk, you change it time, my nadi. I didn't know bit that. I boiled my Ganica, a car. Bola, boy, a car. I walk at to Yaha. It's a mimi say, Sikalomu Tamobia, over scanning top Bolaka. It is Saska, we cross out someone. The Ontian, Sanya Ubo, 125 Ghana cedi. Over that 1.2 billion or the amount.
As a young lady like me, me Juma, me do train in Ashe. Obi Frau now catch and say, we yam wow pesca, Juma cross, ya bram was cabby, I'm going to buy a Juma. And to me, your friend say, I'm over my scan, and I mean, at least men, ya commit men, 2,000 they are starting to be. Now, most of my scar 1.250. I mean, how? 125. Then I made a quiet.
Yeah, honorable side. Young bunny from Oman, your Bieska, Oman, chance me the boss. And the other side in Omujo Muscadia, honorable Crawford, you know Bieska. It says Canaban, Somuzomuja, Yada inside a person, young bunny from the Yedma, Adima,
because me and Mijana, many of 1 billion. It is a woman we are not supposed to make a cover the bank for the Abre. Of course, I want to Krana, but you guys are not some Kamujan as Yamamo. They say Mahama blame Muskaya, but we are blame will be. As the Sky, 10 was Kobians and Kamaka. Shut up, Obia, and the Papa Blaze, come in to me, shop of Krano, Minya, Cement, Minya Tassimbo.
Cantamanto, she say, Yanya Akuma 28. Now, you know, leaders, no, and a casa. And the leaders never cano. Mean to me, Cassa, Mimpin, and I say Mimpin. They will be open to say, oh, my penny, they know the mine, okay, 60 should be a say, Yan Chama will be a what you say? It is a old chairman, we know group, movie say, Mokotna say, now we say 125, no, and so, the moment somebody talk, somebody talk, Tassi, Juma, I am one of them. Omo kwatena se nam so ye lewe ye de no ye nche ye de koto abobo ya de ye adwuma me mintimi kan jam say mamunye but ya kan pata no ene dis kan nyina ama etian de me nsi obi kwan sa chairman bi ne groups ndo mbe so mo de ye no mintimi kan say mo mu fanye ndo mbe so mo de ye bia ye nya chenko aye account no de me ni problem wo ho ye ena me ka say sika abeka me nsa nyina no 781,200 expenses ya ye wo mu no expenses ya wo mu 366,782 Ghana cedi me no ka say sika aka eda bank cantonment sika 414,418 Ghana cedis ye gusu adwuma me no ka say ye to wo ye we be sisi pillars ye be gate atwa no ye be fa security ye be trail ni wo mo ama security na da hatam bia ye ma obi ama me da dwonu mu se de be ya to renche be banti sika de egusu de ye adwuma ye wi a se de ne ya ye ye be se aba ha abebu akonta
etie me for na company omo designate side man de omo again ye ni dumping side ofa bola na hina rikogu na omo dumping side uni po dumping side me man talk because for you na unya ba bia rikogu it is our dumping side oba yesu ani bi etie den a me for na be se wia no etie ka se koto ko bata ye to a hina de bola rikogu etie ne de em say etie se no ye timi to ye to ani ba bia rikogu
ye be da ne ye ho age aboafo nkrato ye ba ye de kase ebo no beto amuso Abusafo no sia kasebo ene yede bremu no sabre de yetoa kasebo no so.
Yetoa so na yeko enra na mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene cabinet ebetu dwa amomo eko meeting de dikan kra na ohwe cabinet na mpanifo mo abe paye ena ewo so. Eno nam so ma opani a eba na manyosem a wabe mu pa osanso Dean of Business Administration and Communication Arts ewo Academic City University Professor Enoch Opoku Entry peninke se dia tudwa achese ohwe cabinet fufa mampani dia bana enam so man sikasem sabre enkoyi atitia pansam tino ohwenim se sa cabinet no abribia wom di adwen foforo beba nhye foforo beba eno beboa amagana sikasem asan gidane na so.
Out of 19 years, 17 MPs, 2 penny MPs. It been for diverse background. Now, it be a lawyers, it be entrepreneurs, it be all different backgrounds, it be a medical doctors, it be the service for money about medical doctors. In diverse backgrounds, boa, Emma, omuti boa man. No, Majuma, Mobayano, a very simple. Omo boa, Ama, president in a boa man. A corner symbol. Say over blow, we know what my committee big will be asked or send a president the kind and in the action. And I'm wow, man. Yamu diverse opinions. Say, Obiveka said, many president, many again, say a bad word because I am a field who experience with all. Those presidents who are a field. And you know, the what were doing, I said, the Yansen back to coaching. Into moving forward, send about money the person. If you cabinet minister the expect to say very efficient. Medicano loyalty to the president in India. But beside the loyalty, you need that sense of urgency. Say, oh man, you see that someone yet. Inflation, that is for Faka, Mamma so for from the previous government. Any individual so I do Omoka, Omoto government shares and born a year into me and it's in a problem the first why the fix the economy number one. Inflation see the years see a sum. Now just see the which we are for year, Nessa no for year now, which now for a phantom and more and maybe and so. The two you money. And I have to say most of these cabinet ministers, only young people, who share Europe and North America may US and Canada. Normally they say, be no more celebrity. And it's a command down for you tomatoes. A drew, the leaders was a very tomato first. Our commander, they united the cars. And in Yemen, our winning other commander, yes, celebrity commander, who follow tomatoes. I began a yearly ritual. Obu wa be anka na wo mukrom. Obu akotoriwa, yes, celebrate these communities. Ebema saade na omo ye no. Abe national event. Sika bebam. Enti ye wonyema bebia ya nye ntimi generate sika. Say resa akwan so internally they generate sika because amama na wo advanced countries in yan o mabre technology na abu AI na abu e pa be na be fa so e betimi create startups businesses ama students they create research hubs it is students na nkomo nya dwuma no your research hubs omo boa research ayi na banks ni financial institution no boa na academia yan so ya boa business plan any financial plan any marketing plan na fe nyama no koso ubia mbeto na mama koso sane woman.
Penny Quatrefo ono eneda Environmental Protection Authority Nanama Brown Kluche ede atu dwase ene aban bone homodin bia se eye galamse a ha oman ombehwe na omotimi etu ase odin same we nyina to dwa abra ene eye civil society organizations omode ena edunsia esi wo se omode omho fa ntitie mu se de be ya betimi aboa ama omudwumadi etimi akonkan.
Together, we're collaborating with CSOs on these actions as EPA. But education is key in all our activities. Ghanaians must be aware and also know the actions they have to take. We need to correct each other. We have a big problem with waste management in the country. EPA is taking steps to slowly phase out plastic waste. It will take a while, but we need to put alternative measures in place before we finally ban plastics completely, especially the single-use plastics. We believe we need to be aware, first of all, of the challenges that we are facing and also know the solutions that we have. If we know the two and we are not doing it, it means we are intentionally don't want to save our environment. But you can clearly see that a lot of people are not aware of the challenges that we are facing and the gravity of the whole problem. So we need to educate Ghanaians on the challenges and also what we have to do as a country to save the environment.
Yeah, as I say, you catch the aban in say. How need ye a waha? Inti as I say, abano and the nisika ni munyam ni ahondi. Any all the diplomatic tools are abandoned the good name of the government of Ghana. No, I say all the Thai CSO Sunechi and other government agencies. Say be ya di ya how no echo to amanoni ana to the Green Climate Fund. Ombe to me who say oh abana kasa no bon modern say climate change issue no. Eyadia eda omakuma so enti mesress aban nipa bia no ba bia obegina bia no asem bia obeka bia no onbo modia embo climate change ewo kasa no climate change no eye security threat enye jihadis any Boko Haram kwana eye security threat. Climate change is more of a security threat than an environmental threat to this country.
Avermoko Interior Minister Olmunyamfo Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak opani akodwuma nsrawe wo the Ghana National Fire Service and afi nadmufo asreye headquarters e won kran and okoye hono Olmunyamfo yi eri tudwa akyese aban a wobai no ode nhyepa odo eba ebebua sa adwumayefo yi na okyese abefo kwan fa so di dwuma eyemfidi awodo no aban di bi ebe mo se de be dwuma di omdi nso no ebetimi akoyi.
Ye twa kasebo no so ane ekopiem ewo eye soafo aban eni se ombehwe tourism creative arts so eye honorable Jifa Abla Gomashi ene wakasa achem se ade baako a ha no pa ye ene se oman Ghana ye kasa ahodo a ye kano eye twi asante kasa fante kasa ene kasa ahodo no bebre na egira nti penifo enhwe na omuntu hu anamon.
According to UNESCO, 43% of languages are at the risk of falling out of use and disappearing. This is a revealing statistic that should be of concern to us all. Language extinction is not just a loss for the communities that speak them. It is a loss for humanity as a whole. We don't only lose a language, but we lose all the nuances and the things that we learn from them, our aspirations and experiences as well. We are not promoting our languages enough, neither are we promoting and preserving our biodiversity as well. Not just for the benefit of individual communities, but for the benefit of humanity as a whole and for posterity. Therefore, as we celebrate the Silver Jubilee of International Mother Language Day, we must also acknowledge the progress made in promoting linguistic diversity and multilingualism. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with speaking all our languages if you can put your mind to it. There's still much work to be done. We must continue to promote linguistic diversity, preserve endangered languages, and support language education. Not the kind that we have right now, where in most schools, all children, even on the Ghanland, are made to speak only a particular language, and that is what is being taught. It's a disservice to the distinguished language of the people in Ghana. We will continue to engage UNESCO as representatives to promote linguistic diversity and multilingualism globally. We must support language preservation efforts, promote language education, and celebrate this linguistic diversity. I hammer on it often in every paragraph because that is the crux of the matter. Languages matter. They are the fabric that weaves our cultures, traditions, and histories together. As we celebrate the Silver Jubilee of International Mother Language Day, let us reaffirm our commitment to promoting linguistic diversity and support language education and appreciate all the languages that we have.
Let's come together to celebrate the richness and diversity of languages and to promote a world where every language is valued, respected, and preserved for future generations.
Yeah, kasa bebre wo ho a yera makasa yera kyerɛ mpanifo bi bae na ɔmo de saa kasa ne di dwuma nanso ɛsan brɛ kɔ animu a wɔn ka kasa ne nkyerɛ ɔmo nkyerɛma nti afei yɛbɛduru baabi no na afei nkɔfo ɔmo bɛka no na ɛho ayɛ den ama ɔmo nti ɛba saa na afei yɛnka kasa ne bi mu nti afei na kasa ne afiri hɔ na ade bakɔ ma no yɛhu sɛ kasa firi hɔ nso a baabi a ofiri nso yɛ de efiri hɔ na sɛ yɛntimi aho baabi a ofiri nso a ɛne na onyeni menim nipa a woyɛ yɛntimi yɛni bibia yɛde bɛhyɛ wo nso sɛ ɛyɛ woni sɛ woyɛ asanteni sɛ woyɛ agbeni sɛ woyɛ frafrani na menim de yɛde bɛhyɛ wo nso ɛno na ɛma no ɛyɛ hu paa no ɛnti ɛho hia sɛ obi aka ne kasa sɛ woyɛ frafrani ka wo kasa sɛ woyɛ agbeni ka wo kasa sɛ woyɛ asanteni ka wo kasa sɛ woyɛ enzamani ka wo kasa kasim ni ka kasa goroni ka wo kasa eve ka wo kasa obi bia.
Yes, Adamo Ako, Interior Minister Munyamfo Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak, Edwansa Hene, Okoye, Ewo Ghana National Fire Service, and not Bono, DPM, no UTV Cassier, Edemahefo.
I can assure you that our priority is to reach through NADMO, make sure that it is well resourced, and we also know you cannot root through NADMO, forgetting the human resource there. One of the topmost thing on our mind is how to make sure that you have a scheme of service where it is well defined, where you move from which. So I can assure you that that will be one of the top priorities that we have to make sure that we have a scheme of service that clearly states what you can enjoy and what you cannot enjoy, where you move from which state to what state. So take that from me, and I'm going to work with the leadership to ensure that this happens. One of the things that I was telling your top management is that we need to look at what, as part of the work that we do, our operations, what is it that technology can help us to reduce the manual, the stress, and what have you? What are some of the activities that you carry that technology can help us reduce? With technology, I know that costs can sometimes come down as much as 70%. So what is it that we can use technology to do? And I'm also very sure that when we get your airline in place, it will give us an opportunity to even partner more. Because currently you could partner non-profit organizations. With an airline, I'm sure it can enable us to partner even profit organizations so that we can increase our IGF and or have better IGF so that we'll be able to run some of the programs that we think are very important.
Is fire safety a key to national development and a foundation for our safety and security? The launch of the annual Fire Safety Week celebration has been scheduled for Monday, 24 February 2025 at 12:00 hours at the Ghana National Fire Service headquarters. The continued intensification of fire safety education nationwide in the schools, churches, mosques, markets, homes, and the regular fire audits and patrols conducted in organizations and markets is indeed yielding fruitful results, with the reflection of decrease in fire breaks and more organizations applying voluntarily for fire safety certificates to ensure that their premises are safe for both employees and clients. Our contribution in preserving lives during other life-threatening situations such as road traffic collisions and other rescue operations cannot be downplayed. Also, a television station, tapped Fire Service Television, has been acquired to help with the 24-hour broadcast of safety messages to the public. This is hoped to inculcate fire prevention behavior in the public.
yɛbɛda ne yɛho agye aboafo nkrato yɛba yɛde kasa ɛbɔ no abusuafo yɛdamase sɛ mwanya adagye atwɛn sabre yɛtoa kasebo no so
yɛtoa so ana yɛkɔ ekua yɛfrɛ no campaign for female education wɔn ayɛkuo bi a wɔn yɛ nkyerɛkyerɛ ɛde ma yɛnnuanom mabawa asisuo nkwadaa nketenkete no na wɔn kyerɛ sɛ nhwɛmu a wɔayɛ kyerɛ sɛ Ghana okɔ mantam ahodoɔ no bɛyɛ sɛ numu a nkyerɛkyerɛ a yɛyɛ de ma mmaayewa a afei na wɔn si so kwan yɛn bɛfa so abɔ apɔmuden ho ban wɔn bu wɔn nsa wɔn bɛdi wɔn ho ni afa nyina no saa nkyerɛkyerɛ no ɛwɔ fam.
We have very beautiful policies about sexual reproductive health in Ghana. So it is all about the implementation. And then I would say government should make adequate funding or resources for set up of health centers at the communities and at the district level so that we can afford to make call for the services. And then I will say so share communities and the children that we have now. A lot has changed, and so the cultural norms and cultural that is so against this. So I will say review it. Then no yema nkola na no mo ho no but sisia nkola mo abei. Is it still the same? Neme bebre asesa. I feel your digital and social media one share woman san yamaya or because social media so to learn ebia adia enye ne kre our social media so on the internet nti I was say ye dwen ho na share age appropriate information a ye betime de ama ye nkola nti obia government parents teachers ni those that are put in the position to support healthcare givers, counselors and all that. It is a collective effort. And our NGOs are more on reproductive health. I will say, share and do our best, what we can to support our society. We call 5 pay and for scoping study so we are steady so after I information no ye pese ye pilot intervention additional districts into sa pilot ye then we can see how widespread I was say ye call and ye nim se can fed pe into me yes I jumano and see and na ye wa partners or other organizations some omoye juma on this sexual reproductive health no so ye pese ye ni omo ye come together and conduct the pilot study or intervention, then we'll see how we can scale it up to all regions in Ghana.
Etwa kasebo no so ana ekopiem ewo Swaman ewo Western North na dade so abamansini mu na ekuroi ewo eho na nananom ahemfo ya ewo eye Swaman omototo ahye aban na musini ya oho eye Western North Regional Minister eye Ora Wilbert Petty Brichum say papa onhwe no momodin ma asunri emra impotemo ho
ya wa ha kaka wa ha nkomoni biye ba ya nkopoamu Yera minister. Sir, Yanimu Nina development partners no. Sir, on so ebe boya amasu genso abasuama. Na yetia fa ye ntuma paifra. Sa asumdwani ahimfia. Asumdwani party numu a. Asumdwani assembly ho ma. Ye koya na se ye bae. O hwa suama na nka ibetwe nyanyema pi ahwede ye. Efi se nkambo mu ai wasa suama man ye nya no. Eni hono ya de srade a ya de to yewura oman pani John Dramani Mahama anim na no ma yasase ya say ya beje ya nto bwa nketenkete e de asi university e de ama yo ko mafo yewura John Dramani Mahama ba ya no ya de to nanim so wura say na ya prema kodu ono so etie ye e kan say saban no ba ono behwe no ma hwe ya yasase no na o mafa atwa so amaye nti say yewura minister ba ene dey a ya ma na kwa aba no ya say ya tita betia no na ne cha no wa ba no say idie ya kai no ya sere no on kai yewura John Dramani Mahama maye enche ya nkasa so ya bato no woni office hono na ya ne tutu anamon akọ yɛn John Dramani Mahama honom
yɛwura John Dramani Mahama ɛwɔ anisoade hu bebree ɛde ɛma yɛn Ghanafoɔ ɛkanka Western North region nana empuntu a yɛkan mpanyinfoɔ ahyia sɛ yɛni asomdwe a ɛm sɛ yɛntumi ɛnyɛ nti yɛbɛsrɛ sɛ obiara fam bi a ɔyɛ ɛbɛyie ne yɛnya asomdwe ɛwɔ ɔman yi mu ɛyɛ so ama man no ɔman yi nyinaa ɛntu na mempɛ sɛ yɛde moadaroma yɛde me abɛtena hɔ no na yɛde mmerɛ ne nyinaa bɛsɔfo abe problems moma yɛma asomdwe ɛnyɛ adwuma na asomdwe wohwɛ mpuntu a bebia asomdwe wɔ no wobɛhu mpuntuo ɛwɔ hɔ bebia sakasaka wɔ no mpuntuo ɛntumi ɛma hɔ nti yɛbɛsrɛ mu na menam saa kwa wei nso ɛsrɛ security officers a ɛwɔ ha nyinaa sɛ ɔma yɛ intelligence ɛnyɛ adwuma saa ade no sɛ ɛɛba ne yɛhu ne ntɛm a yɛtumi ɛsɔ ano ntɛm nti security foɔ ne pono ɛda hɔ 24 hours sɛ mofrɛ commander na for some reason ɔntumi mfa yɛ a mofrɛ me a mɛgye mo so
Yaremoko mrashibijani ndema adeshia ewo autu senya iskatwa akaswa ne mpatamu onmunyamfo Felix na koyo okuno obaye man ede atompanifo anim se adeshia ewo kaswa opekuma epese etuom free ho no mo na osere mpanifo se wo ma adeshia ne break akra no mtimfa mboabo mo ansana wo mo etu free ho no mo
wo ho na menya distress call se nkofo bi yeyi omunyema egu abonten nti midimeka eba ha se opekuma ha se behwe se information amete na enokra na I will just plead say we be more time kakra now omo embo abo ho so that if it is only two, then they move to a new settlement. I'm just pleading on all the authorities and who matters ewo opekuma hase ne kaswa hase se omuhu nkofo ne mobo na se say so sika ho ayeden na nipa na yeyi ne nyemegu abonte no okopeka afa ne nyema opeka afa ne nyema ne wie po a ehe na odeko omayenhwe nkola no any impenyufo mbirafo na ewomono na yehu omomobo so that we can buy at least 1 month time for them na omonchocho omonyemeye
me de aha na mete me de ha ba se bosumi eduni nti me sora homachi bi 3 o'clock na me kwa aka koye ma adwani ama ba ende me fi we ko na me do 4 o'clock pepe na wo mo frɛ me se nkofo abɔ awure ye dem a wo mo se awie mu ha mo obi entunti no wo mo abɔ awure dem mu wo mo sisa ye no ma no tuku nti me nka me homra me ba ya eno na okay na nse ye wura dem a obi a me ne se sister ba kwa a oye oba wa ha wo mo ko wura ndem na odware kra na che se nno be bi basa wo
ma tinya na mete se ye wura dem wo asase eskata nneoma no ayi ne ma ni na egu abonten ena mo kura paint bi a na mo de etwotwo dan ne ho ena mo so mo ma me 5 minutes se manyi nneema na ni na ade a omo loke ampa ne omo tutu nneema ni bi ne omo asese nneema ni bi so
court no ana law no obi anso nchemra enti asase na wo se o claim se ono ne dia no oto asase ne wo hemfa ono na de asase ne ma no wallahi obi ani ho betima langa asem echenye ba asundue ene mra ya pese endi nso no se ya kwa ne be kwa che commander omo ma nkwala no free anko ya mpe omo wa ha wodi 30 minutes enso mo free anko
na no kwe na me nim eya me ya esa ya me ya biom esa sa de we obi ani mo hwe obi anka hwe ankyere obi a wa tete asase bi za bibia on beti bia on be mamane se me di atro a I remember by 2019 ena on be ka chem se obi abase na me se papa no woni asase papa no aha no mo asase a ewa ha no mo no asase na papa bi efe no blessed achicho wono na woto asase ni firifa nkofo ho eye 26 acres of land it no wono register ewo yen kumbefo ya asase mu it papa be fi ba ye ho so be pass asase to na ha no pe ene ya ka tell say ha no mo no asem we na da ho o se oye lawyer enti wo be boa yen na ma ye yidina free asase no so ene ya market 10 plot no edema no no koye search no wo ko no wa mbe biom ye ko to no Sata me na me papa ntia po. Enti ama wo mo chaji etia yen. Etia yen na me se mentia se. Enti me kofa MPP Philip Addison. Woni no ye lawyer. Ana me kofa no. Ana wo ye appeal no. Ana we ni appeal no. Appeal count ana no nie. Philip Addison on no we 2012. Baby of fire yo kunya sakrata no. Won to hwe wo ye nchen. Ojira akwa mi hu no. Obi ani wo be ye bibi wa asase so aminim. Yesra bai, yesra man penini, yesra assemblée foni ade yesra mo.
Ozafo na kase boy be somo o UTV so na ha ne di AC na eye pep student adaroma ne di kase boy ebrewo. Se kwa na yehu se sa do edi twies no ye fan toothpaste. Sans yesu nyina pep student and ya friend sa. E kese pep student no papa esi nuaka editwi esi nyina timpa chow ubetwi usia pep student na maunsa enkabi pep student say nyumre obeda bomodin a efa ebitwi usin ansa na wada oso na panso a na the pep student etwi usin ya woni chako ehonum bidie esu nyina no bidie na body tree wabobo ne saa na de afra na de etwi usin enu bi na pep student ine kama President Chako, near President Cavity Fighter, and also boss simple buying more cinching no air din kama.
Yena Yabasuma Numri Yahua IFA a Glosak Ventures. Glosak Ventures. David.
Glosak dear, at the palm dear, the whole Ghana. Miss Grace Safubodu and the Teso. On the attire in Kuyi.
Papa.
If I talk gross safeno, now Pomon Tadin now. The number is 0244 250 420 0244 250 420.
Yeah, yes, so many me Kwame Osu Ediomi Mene
David Ofori Safo Bongo Difara production team